Yo, what's up guys, this is HappyNo with another Guild Wars 2 PvP video, and on this video I'm going to show you again a core build, the Radiant Hammer. For those people who have no expansions, you will have here another fun build to play if you just don't like to buy the expansions or don't have the money for it, I don't know. The Radiant Hammer was back then also a little favorite of mine, and you can see it here. We will have 80% critical hit chance plus an additional 10% on against burning enemies, which will mean that we will have a 90% critical hit chance even though we are playing with Valkyrie's amulet without precision. So you will see here some funny builds, better said some fun build with high DPS but lacking on survivability a little bit. So this build is all about, as you can see it here, power, vitality and ferocity, so to crit, to single burst enemies, and to try and stay alive with your low survivability skills. What else can I say? You have to try to land a hammer 2 always with some burning, so you can also combo with Virtue of Justice, Mighty Blow, plus either Smite Condition or Judge's Intervention. Now, if you do the combo with Judge's Intervention, you don't really have to activate Virtue of Justice on the same time. Virtue of Justice can be activated a little bit later if you want to just crit again with your hammer attacks. I don't know who's on fire. The Revenant. We could try and burst this guy, or we can go the Firebrand is alone. We can also just try to kill this guy for a short duration here. Now we will see here, when we removed his boons, we can auto attack him. Stability there. What is this Firebrand playing? Auto attack here. I want to land my hammer 3 attack here. He's dead. We can blind, get Virtue of Justice renewed, and now we can focus on the next target. Far seems to be good. Oh, I just missed that. Oh no, I wasn't able to blind that. Nice combo damage. I need to interrupt him now. No, I have no damage, I have no damage. Come on, yes, I'm able to. Now you can see it here, if he tries to knock me back, we can blind him with Virtue 1. Get the Stomp and Virtue of Justice will get renewed. Pretty awesome trait. Here we go. I give Aegis to my friends. Do this. Remove 2 of his boons. And now you can see this guy is not able to sustain this damage. We get stability so he don't get knocked back. And go to the next guy. You see the burst potential of this build is pretty awesome. I want to port. No, he just wasting all his. That was sure. We tried to knock him back. What? I didn't get him? How is that possible? I should have got him there. The Mesmer wants to revive here, but he won't be able to sustain more damage. He's gone. Shall we go for this guy? We have to go for this guy. Okay, I will remove 2 boons now. After he dodges. He's not dodging. Now I have him. Stability activated. He's down. We blind that attack. I was not able to dodge that. Went a little bit too fast. I could finish him off, but I want to support on far. The enemy team. Oh. On the last game I had also 4v5 when I was trying to record, and I was not able to because of that. I thought a 4v5 would be no fun, and now people again just leaving the fight. I need to wait until he wastes a little bit more his skills. We can try to knock him back. Now just auto attack him. Auto attack him. Boom. He just blocked that. Pretty nice. F1 virtue activated just for the burning. You can see this. You can just auto attack those people. They will not be able to sustain this damage. We just kick him out. Boom. Also an awesome trick to do is just kick enemies out of the point and let them bleed. Oh, this is no fun. I don't know why people just leave the fights. I just gonna let my people 4v4 for a few seconds and talk about the Guardian, I guess. Just to have a fair game or not. I will take both buffs, so my team can say, yeah, he's throwing on purpose. The build is pretty fun to play. You have much more HP than normal Guardians. Not much more, but you will have, or no, not much more. You had only 20k. You will have not that much HP. I would 1v1 this guy, but I'm like sure that the enemies will attack me. Let's just try and 1v1 this guy. I had a cool 1v1 against the Holo. He has no stability. Oh boy. What bad timing from me. I missed that. Holy. I thought Hammer 2 would hit behind this pillar, but it seems not. They just distracted me now. Now the build is all about getting retaliation. Normally people played with this one here. So they will get every 30 seconds, if they get stunned or stuff like that, they will get Aegis plus an additional retaliation, but I'm not a big fan of that. I like to play with Unscattered Contender to have the additional 20% damage bonus if we have Aegis and crit someone. Now, you can see it here, if you use your virtues, where is it here? If you use your virtues, you will get the retaliation, so you don't really need to do extra retaliation, you don't need that. Rune of the Pack is my choice because it gives you this 10.95% critical hit chance, which means normally without those 10% critical hit chance we would have only 80% critical hit chance, but like this you can see it here, we get 80% if we burn the enemy an additional 10%, which means 90%. Without those 10% we would have only 80%. And what is better, to have almost 91% critical hit chance or 80%? 80% means just 20% chance to fail. I just like to have the 100% there. Okay, the warrior is back. We can try to 1v1 this guy. Is he... I just used my smite condition. I wanted to say, is this guy a spellbreaker or not? Just block. Do this. 4.2k hammer. He's a spellbreaker. We dodged that. Immobilize him for a second. Use the healing skill. Blind. Knockback. I don't need to dodge his block attack because he was not in my range. Just blind him. Okay, the knockback was bad. Whoa. I need to focus now a little bit, but holy shit, I'm not able to catch him. Interrupt. Auto attack. He will be able to revive. He's not able to revive. I failed here a little bit because this guy joined. I wanted to make it slow and explain you how to counter that. But the main goal is to have the entire time at least retaliation, one retaliation. Now, Virtue 2 won't remove the 3 conditions from you. Only, what? Self condition removal 2? I thought it would have 0 if you don't use the trait. I have no idea of Guardian as it looks like. He will immobilize me not. Boom, burning, hammer 2. activate virtue 3 for the retaliation, and then just go on. You can see it here, ferocity get increased, critical hit chance also. I have no top stats. Yeah, I know, I guess I know why, because I played not so much this round. Basically the top stats that you should get, if for those people who will ask me, the top stats that you should get is at least damage, I would say, or offense. You can also get offense, but it is a little bit difficult to get offense. You have to keep on moving. Overall it was okay, the match, when they had 5 people, but like that not. So how to get the 90% critical hit chance? Number 1 is either use the healing skill when you are low, or just activate virtue. By activating no matter which one, if you activate this, you get the light aura, retaliation, and some might. F1 is the most commonly used virtue to burst down enemies. Why? Because it has a short cooldown, and it also will blind the enemies. Now you have to learn the timing, because you have to do it like this: hammer 2, virtue F1, and judge's intervention. This will give the enemy some stacks of burning, which will deal damage over time, plus you will blind the enemy and deal the damage. It is a little bit difficult to use. You have to hammer 2 first. You can see this. You have this half of a second activation time, 3/4 of a second activation time. Now while you are in the air, you can activate judge's intervention and then activate virtue of justice before the attack lands. Your first attack that will hit is judge's intervention, and the second is hammer. Hammer 2, judge's intervention, F1, and then you can see it here, he has blind, 4 stacks of burning, and you will also crit with mighty blow, which is really painful. Now of course you will have this 10% chance to miss the crit, because you have only 90% crit chance. So don't be always like, oh, why I dealt only 3k damage, 4k damage, why that? Don't be always wondered about that. Now the sigils that I'm using is sigil of intelligence to have the 100% crit chance when we weapon swap, and sigil of annulment. Now to see it why, we can auto attack this guy. Now I can focus this. You can see it here, I have the sigil. Do this, I will crit 100% even though I activated the virtue. But you will have the 100% crit chance, which means you will always land mighty blow, plus judge's intervention will also crit on the enemy. So additional twice critical hit damage onto the enemy. On sword I'm just testing out sigil of revocation to auto attack the enemies, like for example warrior who's getting stability, or necro with stability, where I just can remove stability, and when I go back I will not need it, the sigil of annulment to remove the 2 boons so I can burst the enemy. But that's just basically it. And sigil of energy to have an extra dodge, because extra dodges are always welcome. Rune of the pack, as I just mentioned, to have the sometime every 30 seconds additional fury, swiftness duration if an ally gives us swiftness, and basically for the precision, so we will have the 90% precision. 91% you can almost say, because of those 9.5. The build is basically the same as always: Smiter Spoon, Stalwart Defender, Marks Defense, Unscattered Contender, Glacial Heart. Every 10 seconds, if you crit, you will have this additional damage plus shield the enemy, which is unblockable, deals heavy damage. I don't know if this attack also crits on its own, or if it counts with your own hammer 2 crit, but it just will trigger automatically. You don't only have to hammer 2 the enemy, you can also trigger that by auto attacks, or hammer 3, hammer 4, you will trigger it whenever it's available if you crit. Then the next is Indomitable Courage. F3 gives you stability and your allied friends, plus of course the retaliation. And Radiance is now new. Justice Blind, when we use Virtue 1, we will blind the enemy, gain light aura, and it will get renewed every time we stomp an enemy. This is something that you need to know, because if you stomp enemies, you will always be able to use this and blind their knockbacks, so you will be safe from knockbacks. But if you have multiple enemies, you can use the blind plus stability, because it is safer. the blind will not work on enemies who are far away. Then we have Healer's Retribution. Every 20 seconds when we use the healing skill, we gain for 10 seconds retaliation, which is like this. Every 20 seconds the healing skill, 10 seconds retaliation, 10 seconds of additional 50% critical hit chance, which is awesome. Then we go with Virtue of Justice is renewed. I just mentioned that. When you stomp a foe, retaliation grants you increased damage and ferocity. It gives you 10% damage bonus plus 250 extra ferocity, so your critical attacks will deal additional damage. And we have it here, attacks against burning foes have an increased chance to critically hit, 10%. Normally, if I'm not wrong, it was 15%, or was it only here? So you will have this additional 10% against burning foes, which means every 3 attacks with the auto trait of F1, you can see it here, every 3 attacks you will burn the enemy, which means you will have the additional 10% damage bonus from that. Or when you combo Hammer 2 and Judge's Intervention to apply the 8 seconds burning, or when you activate Virtue of Justice, additional burning stacks to have the 10% critical hit chance to deal more damage. That's why I did also against the Firebrand. I activated this and just auto attacked, lay down the symbol, and the symbol deals nice damage to enemies. It gives you yourself protection, so melee attacks will be less harmful to you. Rider's Instincts. Retaliation increases your chances to critically strike and grants might each interval, which means every time we have retaliation, 50% additional critical hit chance, plus it will give might every second we have it on. So it will just not benefit ourselves with the retaliation to give us the 50% critical hit chance, but it will also give you might over time. You can see it here, 1 might, 2, 3, 4, and it will just stack like this. So you will have at least 2.5k damage, almost, if you play it with retaliation on. Now you can see it here, to keep up your retaliation the entire time, you just have to activate your virtues, then you have your healing skill up, and then you can just repeat that. You see, you are almost able to have permanent retaliation when you do these steps over and over again. If you stomp an enemy, Virtue of Justice is renewed, you can use it again, and you can see retaliation, you can have it at least for 15-20 seconds with immediately. Then when you go with renewed focus, you can use your virtues again to have again retaliation and some fury to crit always. Fury is gained by your meditation skills, which you have 4 of them. No, 5, but the 5th is the elite, so it's better set 4. And to the combos now, you can either just auto attack, and you can see it here, I will not crit now I crit it, just lucky with a 10% critical hit chance. But basically what you can do is just on team fights use the healing skill, do this, and you can see it already 5.4k damage with your hammer without having so many might stacks, and you can just repeat that, and you can see it here, your damage will just increase over time if you use that. Burn the enemy, hammer to him, 4.2k. We have no retaliation, so we have to activate elite skill. Repeat now. We have no burning on the enemy, so we have to wait for Virtue of Justice, and it will just repeat and repeat over and over again. I just wait a little bit until I have my healing skill, then I will show you how painful it is. So here we go, the healing skill, boom, hammer 2. We have burning on the enemy, and it can just repeat now like this. Oh, I just failed that combo. But basically what you can do is, on downed enemies I recommend to auto attack until you lay down the symbol, and once the symbol is down, hammer 2, swap to your sword, and then just auto attack, because sword has faster auto attack, and you can also have an extra knockback for enemies. Also keep in mind, sword 2 is a nice blind, plus the symbol gives you fury, additional fury. You don't really need that, but it just gives you additional fury, plus it makes a light field, which means if you hammer 2 you will get a light aura and 10% damage reduction from conditions. This is nice to know for those people who don't know it. What else? Start the fight with your shield and sword, because if you weapon swap you have the Sigil of Newman proc, and you will be able to choose a target who has stability or protection and burst down the target, because you will remove those 2 boons, stability or protection, and then you can burst easily down the enemy. The burst combo is Judge's Intervention with Hammer 2 and Virtue of Justice. And for the last time, Hammer 2, Judge's Intervention and Virtue of Justice. But you don't really need to use this. You can also just Hammer 2 and do Judge's Intervention. Oh, but I forgot to activate Retaliation. Okay, this is bad for me. If you don't need to use your healing skill at the beginning, you can just do it as I said it. Hammer 2, Judge's Intervention with Virtue of Justice to get the blind, get the retaliation, and then Hammer 2 will heavy hit the target. I just show you again here because I failed that. I almost forget about that. It is also important if you can try to keep Aegis up, because Aegis gives you the 20% damage bonus. Okay, here we go, a last time. Mighty Blow, Judge's Intervention with Virtue of Justice. Mighty Blow, 6.3k or something like that. Hammer 2, we gain Light Aura, we blind the enemy, and we deal heavy damage. What else can I say? If you revive allied friends, use Virtue of Courage, because it gets renewed when you revive the ally, plus Virtue of Justice, of Resolve, to remove 2 conditions from your ally, plus give him some healing and regeneration retaliation. Then you can also use Virtue of Justice to blind enemies who try to attack you with a heavy hitting attack, or your downed ally can also benefit when you revive someone. Contemplation of Purity is nice stun breaker, or just better used when you are really low and need a stun break. Try to keep it as long as possible, because it is a nice lifesaver. And yeah, I guess that was it. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though you had not so much PvP going on. But I showed you the build, I showed you everything. Exosuit, the outfit, because I know people will ask me. Outfit, Inquest Exosuit outfit, Fractal Hammerskin, Dream Thistle Sword, and Braham's Shield. Now that was it. As always, thanks all for watching. You will see now 3 of my other videos, which you can watch or not, and you can also subscribe to my channel only if you like to. If not, don't do it. That was HappyNo. Thanks all for watching, guys. I see you on my next videos. Bye bye.